Well, the flat season began at Naas, and it is at Naas on November the 7th that it will conclude. And ahead of that season finale, I've caught up with Aido McGuinness. Aido, if we go back to March, you're ready for the start of the flat season, and next thing, bang, no racing for 3 months. How did you react?
It was a shock to the system. We were so prepared for the first week. All the horses there ready to rock. We'd had a great dundalk for the whole, for the whole winter. Horses with all our Lincoln horses back in and ready to rock, and then all of a sudden lockdown, and it was a shock to everybody. We didn't know what was going to happen. Luckily we had a great team of owners at the time, and we had to ring them and tell them and explain to them what was happened. And we turned away some of the horses because we were hard on them there for January, February, getting them ready for the Lincoln, and we let them all out in the field for, we were told we were going to be racing in a month, then we said 6 weeks, and it kept going on and on until we got closure of when we were going to go back. It was very, very hard, but we let it with the horses. We were training them hard, and then we let them all off. We gave them about 3 weeks off, and which I think benefited a lot of them then later on in the year.
How did the season go for you then, in terms of you're starting, instead of starting in March, or starting in June? And was there pressure to deliver quickly then because it was so compressed maybe?
Yeah, it was. And the funny thing was, all the big races were, in all fairness to HRI, they kept all the big races. The Lincoln was put back, and we had our horses geared up for the Lincoln, and we had them. We prepared 3 horses for it, which was great. And there was no pressure put on us. We were just trying to win, but like all the big races were there, so we were still able to target the races, which was great.
What was Galway like? Because we've had a joke there that you were nearly lucky that all the bars were closed. You would have celebrated too much, but from the photo finish in the Colin Quinn mile to just the wait, and then eventually getting a good result.
Yeah, it was surreal, really. The wait was unbelievable. We would have settled for a dead heat, I suppose.
Yeah. You still go down as a winner.
It still goes down as a winner, but my horse ran into a lot of trouble. Like, he was right out the very back at the bottom of the hill, and he come up through them. He's a very good horse, and he come up through them. And to repeat the performance from last year was brilliant. I did fancy the other horse in the race, not him, but he really came alive again there on the day, and it was brilliant. Unfortunately, the guys weren't there. The Dooleys and James O'Sullivan them weren't there to celebrate, but it was just the tension, even with nobody there, was unbelievable. If the crowd had been there, I don't know what it would have been like. The heart was hard. It was hard on the heart, but it was just brilliant.
So you should mention both Current Option and Salt and Soul, just because the standard bearers that they have been for you, really. Yeah,
listen, I'm very lucky that I've got good horses. We bought good horses, and we sourced good horses. Stephen, my assistant, and that, we really, we work hard at the sales, and we checked out all these horses, and we sourced really, really good horses, and I suppose I'm blessed that I have them. And look, at Current Options has turned inside out. We did think a lot of him when we bought him, and he's turned inside out, and he's proved me right. I said he was a stakes horse, and I proved that he was.
Well, to have a Group 3 winner, I was amazed actually it was your first group winner, but it just kind of shows how difficult they are to win as well.
Yeah, listen, I'm nearly 20 years doing it, and usually if we get a good horse, he's sold, and I'm luckily that we had these horses to be able to keep and prove that I can win these races. And you need the animals to win the races, and they're very good animals, and they proved to me, proved that they can win them once you get them.
You're fortunate enough that you've access to the beach beside you there in North Dublin as well. How good is that for the horse's physical and mental well-being?
Yeah, it's brilliant. Especially during the summer, the weather is really, really nice. Even if you get out of your car someday and drive to the beach and walk across it, you'll feel really good after it, and it's the same for a horse. And it's great to relax a horse, bring them down there after they've had a hard day's race, and it's great if you have a horse that's a bit stale at home on the gallops. You bring them down there for 2 days, and it just freshens them up. They just love it. And I'd say with all the horses we have at home, maybe 1 or 2 hate the place, but most of the time we bring them down, they just love it. It's just so relaxing and refreshing, and mentally it's great for a horse.
Can you kick on from this year now, because it's so competitive in this country, and you need owners and you need the support?
Yeah, listen, this is probably the hardest country in the whole world to survive in. I think if you survive in this country, you'll survive in any country racing. We probably have the top 3 or 4 trainers in the world on the flat, and the same in National Hunt. So it's very competitive. You've probably the best thoroughbred operation in the world here in Coolmore as well, and you know we have to compete with that every single day of the week. Every day you go out there in maidens and any type of races now, like that, they've horses there, so we have to compete against it, and it's great that we can survive in that.
Just to mention Bowerman as well, a horse that you sourced, he loves Dundalk, won the Albasti sponsored race there under Colin Keane, who has obviously had a great year, and he's another class act really, I suppose, for you that has flown the flag.
Yeah, he's a very, very good horse. He was a horse that I think he was beaten by Stradivarius short head in his maiden, so he'd rock solid form. Had his problems, I think he bled, and we bought him at the sales last year. Then he was still a colt. We castrated him at the back end of last year, and he's just turned inside out, and he's a very, very good horse, and you know we're looking forward. I think he'll win more races for us, and it was great. We took advantage of his grass mark in the Lincoln this year, so it made a big difference.
Yeah, and in terms of Dundalk then for the winter, what are your prospects there?
Yeah, we've some nice horses. We've a lot of handicappers we'll tip away with, you know, in the lower grades, in the middle road handicappers we're going to tip away with. We've given a lot of the good horses a break now at the moment, and we'll wait now until, say, January before we start them back again. I think we're going to maybe travel with a few of them, you know.
So very hopeful for the future.
Yeah, we're going to go to Newmarket next week to source more horses.
Starts all again?
It starts all again. We've a few bought there. We bought a few last month, and they're all horses. We're going to, hopefully there's 2 or 3 nice Premier Handicap horses there for next year.